Hey there, Geminis. It's Keegan. I am doing readings, and I'm just going to tell you guys at the beginning. These readings are very draining for me, and so they've taken a long time for me to get through them. I'm not able to do many in one day. And it's reminding me why I tend to not focus on the other person very much when I do readings, because usually, I've explained this in most of the other readings, but I'll say it to you guys as well. Most of the time, if people are coming to YouTube to look at YouTube tarot readers, there's something that is wrong, something that's bothering them in their relationships. And so anytime I focus on the other person, the readings tend to be very heavy, and they tend to just annoy me. They tend to zap my energy and make me frustrated with the person that I'm reading. So as a reader, if you've watched my readings before, you know that typically I focus on the person who is listening to me, the person who's watching the video. Because I think that's personally, I think that's way better. If I can give you insight into yourself and help you see patterns that you can actually do something about, because we have no control over other people. We can't change other people. But for some reason, I felt like this is what I needed to focus on and have some sort of readings on the channel that are about the other person. So as you can see on the screen, these are the things that I'm going to be looking at. I just want to explain at the beginning why my energy might be a little bit different, because I'm telling you, some of these people that I've read, most of the people that I've read so far in these readings, they just annoy me. They get on my nerves. But we'll see what happens with you guys. I do want to talk a little bit at the beginning to explain a couple of things. Bear with me. Please don't click ahead. This is important information. In terms of the other person, there are a couple of ways that you can look at this. If you're in a relationship, obviously the person you're in the relationship with would probably be the person that I'm reading. If you're not in a relationship but you are interested in someone else, or if you are in a relationship and you're interested in someone else, it's the other person. Okay, so whoever that other person is to you, that's who I'm reading. I'm not reading about Gemini, the person listening to me. If you clicked on this, most likely you are a Gemini. I just want to be clear, I'm not reading you, I'm reading the other person. Now, if you're single and you don't have any interest in anyone, you can still watch this video if you're a Gemini. Just know that I'm talking about the person who's approaching or who the next person coming in might be, insight into that person, so you can recognize them. Now, if you are involved or you have someone in mind, a specific person, and you know their sun sign, let's say you're a Gemini and you're interested in an Aquarius, then you can go and watch their sun sign reading if you want more insight into the person. So you can potentially watch 2 readings out of this collection of readings for that one person. So I wanted to explain that and be clear about that. Now, I'm going to give this deck a couple more shuffles and then a few cuts. And I think how I'm going to do your selection here is I'm going to just do cuts at each of these stacks and see what I want to take out. You might see me doing the card placements different if you do watch other videos. So I'm just basing it on how I feel with each sign. So here, for example, I've pulled 2 cards off that cut and I'm placing them right there. Okay. So I'm going to go through really quickly, Gemini, and just get the spread laid out. I hope that you guys have been doing well. I hope that you are staying safe and thriving in this weird world. I'm not getting as much anxiety, I will tell you, as these cards are coming out. Let me do 2 cards on this one. I did Sagittarius before you guys, and whew, that reading was not fun for me. All right. 2 cards there. Okay, so Gemini, I'm going to turn this overlay off. I will remind you what each of the stacks represents as I go through. And then I also have my Oracle card here, or my Oracle deck here. I will pull an Oracle card for you at the very end, just so you can get some advice or guidance around this specific connection. Now, I do want to say how I'm going to read this in case you are more interested in one particular section of this. I'll start here with these 2 cards, read the top row, and then read the bottom row. I don't recommend skipping around on tarot readings, though. So let's get started here. We're just going to go ahead and dive right into this. Apologies for the long build up to this, but I think everything that I've said was important. So let's take a look at this person, who they truly are, and then we'll take a look at how they act. This will give me insight into whether this person is putting forth any sort of a fake mask, trying to hide who they are, or whether there's some sort of integrity in how they present themselves and who they truly are. So who this person truly is. So we have the Devil coming out upright. I'm not. It's not a bad card. It's just funny to say who this person is, the Devil. This is not a bad card though. The Devil card coming out upright, and then you have the Nine of Wands here, which is reversed. So this person at their core, we're going to start here talking about this card. So this person is someone who would be a very seductive type of energy, someone who is very sexual. They're very focused on material things in life. They could be a bit greedy. They could have some sort of addiction issue. I don't necessarily sense there being an addiction issue that is around like anything really harmful, because this card, this Nine of Wands, this card really is about someone who has a lot of strength and perseverance. They're persistent. They have a lot of boundaries in their life. So that's what I'm saying. I don't sense there being an addiction that's really harmful to them. They could actually be addicted to sex. I'll just say that because of that Devil card. But who this person truly is in their life, they are driven a lot by what they can have, whether that is money, things, people. They're focused on getting what they want. Okay, and they're persistent with it. They don't give up. They don't give up in terms of what they do here, right? I will say here there is kind of there's like a greediness here that I think is important to note. And there's also a certain level of it's like never enough. Like it's never enough. They don't find a lot of joy even when they do get what they want. It feels like someone who they get what they want and then they want more, or they want something else. It's the satisfaction of getting, of attaining, is what really drives them and compels them. Okay, how does this person act? So we have the Four of Swords here, which has come out reversed. So this person would be someone who they would seem to be in their mind a lot. They would seem to always be thinking, potentially overthinking situations. They would appear to be quite anxious. They might be someone who presents as being very overwhelmed and burned out with whatever's going on in their world, like a frazzled type of energy. Which, I don't necessarily think that's in conflict with this, because if they're never satisfied and they're always trying to like push for the next thing and trying to get, that would be quite taxing on someone, right? So, we'll move on from that and see what else is here. I'm not a huge fan of this energy, but I don't know what you're looking for, the person listening to me. So if you're looking for someone who's fun, who can, be a good time, and, is probably like really good in bed, wants to be known as being good in bed, it's kind of flashy. If you're looking for that right now and you're not looking for something super serious, then this might not be bad news to you, right? I don't know what you're looking for when you're listening to me. So I just like to tell you honestly what the person is like. Okay. Hey there, it's Keaghan, and I am jumping in here in the middle of the reading just to let you know that I've decided to offer a special on readings during the month of October 2020 only. I'm going to have limited spaces for this. After doing these readings, I decided that I feel like a lot of you are going to want to get more information or follow up on these readings. And I know that the world is weird and money is tight. And so I wanted to try to come up with a way that I could still offer personal readings and have them be affordable, so that if you do have more questions, or if you want to explore this a little bit more deeply with me in a personal reading, I might be able to make that happen. So as you can see on the screen, I'm offering 4 different levels. It's basically $1 a minute for a reading. You can do a 20-minute, 30-minute, 45, or 60-minute reading for me. If you're interested in this, you should send me an email, keaghantarot@gmail.com. You can see how my name is spelled there, so keaghantarot@gmail.com. Let me know which of the readings you want, and I'll send you an invoice, and then that will confirm your slot. And again, there will be limited spaces, so if you're interested in this, let me know as soon as possible. I will be posting all of these readings all at the same time, so everyone gets a fair shot at claiming their seat. And if I do run out of spaces, I will let people know that if I still get emails beyond what I have capacity to do during the month of October. I'm going to send you right back into the reading now. What's going on in this person's mind? Ugh. I hate this card. If you watch my readings, you know I don't like this card. But we'll take a look here. So in this person's mind, you have the Three of Wands. It's come out reversed. This is really about, this person is not someone who's making a lot of solid long-term plans about anything. They're not necessarily looking for, they're not looking for success. It's more of this. This person isn't making any long-term plans. They're not thinking about trying to ensure that anything lasts. They are this Magician reversed. Man, I hate it. So this card, just so you know, the Magician reversed, this is the card for me that represents someone that is playing games. They're manipulating. They are, potentially, this is like my narc card. So someone who's very focused on themselves, shown here, right? The other thing that I will say from this in terms of their mind, the Magician, when it's reversed, is someone who is either not taking full advantage of the resources available to them, or they're wasting their resources in some way. The Magician, when it's upright, is all about manifesting and creating and pulling visions into something that's real and tangible, working magic. And this is reversed. That manifests in a way that it's someone who they're not living up to the potential that they have inside of them. Okay, so this person's mind is very much focused on not really being focused on much of anything, right? It's very much going back to this devil energy where they're just focused on stuff and fun and pleasure and sex and partying. Again, depending on what you're looking for, if you're looking for a right now type of energy, fine, right? But so far, I would say, like, don't invest a lot of emotions or hope in this person in terms of something long term. What's going on in this person's heart? Page of Cups here, Daughter of Cups in this deck, but it's a Page of Cups. It's upright, which is kind of interesting. So, in terms of what's in this person's heart, they are, I would say they're open to love. They're not actually looking for it. But I think in their heart, they do feel like if someone comes along that really makes them feel different than they felt before, they're receptive to it. I think that this person probably is a very, very affectionate, flirty type of person. They probably communicate in a way that's very inviting, something that feels very exciting. There might actually be kind of a vulnerability in how they communicate that I think does come from something that's real inside of them. But there's an obvious conflict here between heart and mind, right? So be aware of that. But I don't think, in terms of the affection and how they communicate, I don't sense that it's fake, but it's just not backed up with a lot of effort. This person feels like someone that if the other person manages to do something that, and I fundamentally disagree with this, right? Like, if we're not looking for a relationship, if we're not looking for anything real, if we're not looking for anything serious, no one that comes into our life is going to trigger that inside of us. It's not how it works. We have to want it before we can actually even see it in the world and be something that we're going after. But for this person, in their mind, the way that they deal with this conflict between their heart and mind is to say, well, if someone comes along and changes how I feel, then, fine. But that's never going to happen until they get over this. right? Just solely being focused on like the pleasure. Because relationships aren't just all about pleasure. Relationships require a lot of work and effort and compromise and putting the work into them. Okay. So this person's future. Yeah, this makes sense. So you have the Ten of Cups, it's reversed, and then you have the Knight of Wands, which is also reversed. I'm going to start with this. The Knight of Wands is another card about sexual excess. It's about a very chaotic type of energy. It's very impulsive. There might be anger issues here. And then you have the Ten of Cups reversed. This is not good in terms of relationships. This person is not going to settle down. This person is a player. This person is having fun. They are out doing what they want to do. And again, like, I don't judge that behavior, right? I don't see how this person could hide that that's who they are. Okay, I'm going to say that again. I don't see how this person could hide who they truly are. They aren't looking for something serious. They aren't looking for something long term. They're looking for fun. They're looking for pleasure. They're playing the field. They're out doing what they want to do. And that's what they're going to continue doing in the future. There's not a drive or a pull for them to change. Okay, secrets. We have 2 cards here. So you have the King of Wands coming out here upright, along with the 8 of Wands, which is also upright. So let's talk about this. I want to just show you these cards. You can see both of them have this sort of like lightning bolt sort of thing coming in here. And with this particular card, the reason that that's there is the 8 of Wands represents something that's very sudden change. It is about action that comes out of nowhere or action that seems to come out of nowhere. It can also represent travel and movement. I do sense that here. It's very interesting because this same card came out, I think, in this exact same place in the Sagittarius reading that I did. So if you're dealing with a Sagittarius, or you're Gemini listening to me and you're dealing with a Sagittarius, be sure you go watch that. Because I feel like this person is contemplating a move and they have not made it known. They've not made it known that they're contemplating it, but it's something that actually has either been solidified, like as I'm doing this, they found out recently, or they will find out very quickly and they'll move on it very quickly. But it's about some sort of very sudden change and they're keeping it hidden. They're keeping it quiet. This is interesting to me, this King of Wands, which has come out upright. I think it's tied to this, if I'm going to be honest, this heart card, this thing about if the right person came along, this kind of sweet, romantic, potentially, way that they communicate. The King of Wands is, it's not necessarily that the King of Wands is not necessarily non-committal. They will commit, but to the right queen. So this is very similar to the Sagittarius reading. I just need to say that again, because the King of Wands is very charming. They're very secure with themselves. They're very engaging. They're very charismatic, and they want that same type of vibe, that same type of energy from their partner. So it's not necessarily even about like settling down, getting married, having the white picket fence and the 2-car garage and all of that. It feels like the secret that this person is keeping is that they really would commit. They really would settle, not settle down, but they would commit. They would be willing to investigate with the person who is the right match. And that would be that Queen of Wands type of energy, which is a very kind of outgoing, very confident, self-assured, someone that when they walk into a room, all eyes are on them. They're just very, like, they grab the attention of people, and they're very social. They know how to navigate social settings. This person, the secret that they keep is that that is really what they would want to match with. But on the surface, they seem very unwilling to settle down. So if you're dealing with this person and it is something that you want to explore, then the question is whether or not you actually truly are exuding that Queen of Wands vibe. If you're very insecure, if you're not very outgoing, if you don't like being social, if you don't like doing activities, you're not a match for this person. And it doesn't mean you need to change who you are, unless you're very unhappy with it, with being that way, right? But they are a match for someone who's very extroverted, very outgoing, who likes to be out and kind of, I don't want to say manipulating people, but it is almost that, like using their charm and charisma to navigate the social world is what really appeals to this person. Like if you've seen House of Cards, it's a Netflix show. If you haven't seen it, I can't think of another like reference point to give you, but you know the two main characters in that show. That's what I get here. It's like they will commit to something with someone if they're aligned in terms of this same vibe of just hedonism and pleasure seeking and using your looks and your charm and your charisma to navigate society and the world in a way that allows you to get what you want. Okay, that's truly what they look for in terms of what they feel would align to them being a king to a potential queen. And don't let gender mix you up here. So if you're a guy listening to this and you're thinking about a female, it would be exactly the same thing, right? Like this, but it would be a female who's very kind of almost like the alpha energy, looking for a guy who can play with that and be a partner to play off each other and to leverage your charm together as a couple to like engage people in that way. It doesn't even have to be about like playing games, but it's just they want that same sort of partner, that really charismatic, fun, non-serious type of partner. Okay, their plan. Justice coming out here reversed. So this is a very interesting card coming out in terms of someone's plan. I think I've kind of talked about it already. This Magician reversed, I talked about it quite a bit. This person's plan, how they go about life in the world, is really about, I'm going to be diplomatic and I'm going to say it's like smoke and mirrors. Lots of smoke and mirrors. There isn't a lot of real... Your interaction with this person, a lot of what you get is fluff. A lot of it is just them being very charming and engaging and saying what they think you want to hear. They like people to like them. But what's truly behind that, there's not a lot of honesty. A lot of what this person does is manipulation and like misdirection. And that's the plan for them moving forward. They're happy. You know, they're out making money, having fun, having lots of sex, partying, being, getting lots of attention. They're happy. There's nothing that's motivating them to change their life right now, unless the right person comes along that allows them to still be who they are right now, but have a partner in crime, so to speak. Their goal. The High Priestess reversed, the Wheel of Fortune reversed. What a weird goal to have, but it does make sense here. I'm going to start with the High Priestess because I think this is kind of giving the most energy. Their goal really is to continue to be in a place where they can have secrets, where they can be a bit non-committal, where they are kind of in and out. This person feels like someone who, if things start to get too serious, if things start to feel too weighty, then they just sort of bounce. They would be someone that would just ghost. They don't want to commit. And they also, the High Priestess is a card that can speak to hidden agendas. And I do get that here. Their goal is to keep what they want, keep what they're doing, keep their plans very close to their chest, not show their cards to anyone. So even people who are close to them, friends, or if they are in a relationship, they're not showing a lot. They're not communicating what they're really up to, what their goals are. And then you have this Wheel of Fortune, which is reversed. And that's a very tricky card in terms of someone's goal, because the Wheel of Fortune, what's reversed, is about someone who's in a phase that isn't all that great. They're in a period of life that's a bit negative. They're dealing with bad luck. They have a bit of a lack of control that's happening in their life. Their life might actually be out of control. But this person likes that, right? It's this Devil card, Magician reversed. They want that. Their goal is to have this life that is just, they do what they want, and damn the consequences of it, right? They are focused nearly 100% on what makes them happy, even if it comes at the cost of someone else being sad. Yeah, and that's honestly what they want. I said this. I think it was in the Sagittarius reading, but I've honestly said this in a couple of these readings so far. No judgment here, right? I don't see how this person, as I'm seeing them, I don't see how it wouldn't be obvious that they're not wanting to settle down, that they're just looking for fun. There's nothing here that is showing like this is how they really feel, but they're showing lots of things that indicate that they do want something serious. There's nothing about this person that I'm reading that is serious or committal. So if they are just living their best life and they're being upfront that they aren't wanting to settle down, then it's like I said at the beginning, right? Like they're not a person for long term. They're not someone who would work for a relationship. But if you're only looking for fun, and you personally are also in a place where you don't want a commitment, you don't want to settle down, you just want to have fun, then this person could be a really good match. And there is potential with this person because of this King of Wands and this Page of Cups. If they feel like they've met someone that allows them to be who they are and is also similar to them, and you can join forces and just have this really kind of go against the rules, do what you want to do, flirt your way through life, use your charisma and your charm and your looks together as a couple to have this kind of hedonistic life. I keep feeling that very strongly. Then they would be on board with that. Okay, but that's the question that you need to ask yourself. This is a very interesting card. Happiness is my birthright. I feel that energy from this person for sure. I think this is also advice for the person listening to me. This person just wants to feel good and they want to be happy, and they don't want anything that feels serious or sad. They don't want to get bogged down in the more complex aspects of relationships. They would rather not be in a relationship and be able to do what they want. And I think that for the person listening to me, this might be something that is appealing to you. It might be that you have actually questioned yourself whether you want to have something that's really, really serious right now. Okay, so if you can manage to keep your heart and your emotions from getting wounded, then take that as you will. Other card that came out for you says, through prayer and meditation, I create a ripple effect of peace in the world. So if you find yourself confused about this person, Gemini, if you aren't sure what you want to do, tune inward, try to listen to your intuition, really trust your gut here. I do just want to say, if you are someone who tends to fall very quickly, if you're someone who tends to get your heart invested in people, if you tend to be very, it's easy for you to emotionally bond with someone and to start getting carried away by emotions, this person is not the person for you to deal with. Okay, because they're not going down that path. They will not, in the near future or in the future, be willing to commit and settle down, unless, as I've said, You can be someone who doesn't really hold them back, lets them be who they want to be. You aren't very emotionally invested in the relationship either. You're just focused on the fun that you can have with this person. And that just continues. The two people just continue being non-committal and having fun with each other. And it just ends up becoming something that lasts for a while, right? So let me know in the comments what you thought about this. I probably won't be doing this particular style of reading again for a while because, like I said, they're very draining for me. And I'm not really liking the people that I'm reading. But let me know what you thought because I do want to get feedback on this because, like I said, it is something different that I'm trying. And so I do want to hear from you guys about what you thought. And I will be back with other readings soon that will be a little bit different. Gemini, I love you guys. I hope that you're doing well. And I will see you again soon. Bye.